Welcome to the Yanagida Podcast Show, episode 50. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special episode because we are episode 50. 50 recordings, 50 episodes, thanks to you and the questions you send in and all the love and support you've given us over the last year, actually. This whole thing started during the COVID pandemic, and I believe we were just reopening back in June. Yeah, we were just reopened actually, and this is all thanks to you folks. So thank you guys for encouraging and supporting this whole podcast journey. And whether it's been the solo episodes like this where we get to talk and I get to communicate and share and all that good stuff, or we can have some awesome guests talk about nutrition, fitness, leadership, business, careers, martial arts, etc. And today I want to just make this episode because I'm here in Honolulu on a work trip, not a vacation, a work trip. And I feel like I'm working actually more than when I was back home, which is awesome, right? And I got an opportunity to meet with my former boss, Blaine Geisen, which he was on, I believe, episode 3 or 4, Blaine Geisen. So Blaine Geisen, my former boss at Kamehameha School, my last boss, was an incredible leader, incredible mentor, just a great human being. The lessons I got from him were profound. So I got so many lessons. I got lessons from leadership, how to build relationships with your athletes and your team and the people you serve, how being open and honest and asking questions, allowing other people to take charge of things. And so the first memory I have of Mr. Blaine Geisen, and before we go into this, I want to just share this whole thing, this whole trip was an incredible trip, building more connections with KITV and my former colleagues and all this and stuff. And the whole point of this was to spread fighting sickness with fitness. That's the number one goal, right? We want to help you, the families, our families, the people in the community that can really benefit from living a healthier and being a happier person, which is probably anybody. Anybody can probably become a little healthier, a little happier, and that's the main end goal of this whole process. This is why we wake up early in the morning every day, and sometimes burn the midnight oil, right? Like the last, I still been getting up early, and this whole trip, I've been probably sleeping around, 11 to midnight, and just still sleeping like 4 or 5 hours. And that's okay, because I love this. I mean, I wouldn't be spreading this and doing this video with you, or audio if you're listening it to audio, if I didn't really truly care. And every time I feel like I'm having a hard time, I think about my grandma. A healthy grandma who got misdiagnosed, got wrong medication, healthy, turned to cancer, passed away in 5 months. Anytime things get difficult, I think about the why. My grandmother, my mother, right, our loved ones. And there are so many defeats and losses behind the scenes that I face on a regular basis. Rejection, we're not interested, you're not good enough yet, you're not this yet, you're too much, you're too little, you're too whatever whatever the smoke screen, the objection is. I hear it all the time. And that's good, because if life always went according to plan, we don't develop, right? We don't develop if we just got healthy and fit doing simple stuff. Imagine if we got healthy and fit without having to exercise and eat healthy, right? How crazy would that be? There wouldn't be any character development. And so when we hit those harder times, those difficult rejections and told no a lot. I always see it as, what's the lesson from this? What can I learn from this? Okay, we've always been kind of the underdog mentality, right? Because we don't have any, we're not a franchise. We're not a big major. We're not a big major brand or anything like that. We're literally started backyard with $59 in my bank account in 2013, and so it's interesting because during the journey, and this is the same in fitness, people will encourage you in the very beginning, right? Yeah, go for it, lose that weight. You're gonna have a bunch of friends and people tell you that. Especially if you open up to them. Guys, I'm kind of scared to start this fitness journey. I'm scared to embark this new career journey, change, whatever it is. You have good friends, they'll initially tell you things like, yeah, you got this, go for it, boom, make it happen. Now, typically, I don't know, human nature well enough or psychology well enough, but typically, when you start making progress towards whatever that is, a business, your health, your fitness, your career, right? Let's just say your health, you start losing weight. Let's just say, I'll take an example. One of our clients had to lose 80 pounds. Now, once he lost the first 35 pounds, the people around him were telling him, take it easy, and dude, you don't need to eat all healthy anymore, bro, you already look good. And actually start to guilt trip him. Right? Guilt tripping. Oh, you're looking a little skinny, buddy. But reality is, he's still on his skeletal structure for his height and his body fat percentage, which is basically non-functional weight, right? Body fat. It's just stored debt, energy, debt, just in case we're in debt. And he was still about 40, 50 pounds overweight. And about 10 to 15% body fat above what is considered healthy for his heart and his kidneys and his liver and his brain. And so we continue to stay on that track to keep eating healthy, exercising 3 to 4 days a week, and all the consistent habits. And slowly the people started falling off, saying like, oh, this guy is just too crazy. Now you're just a fitness fanatic. Whatever it is. And same with career, right? I hear this all the time with our members too. When we sit down with our members, initially, they'll go for a promotion, right? Like, I'm not sure if I should go for this new job promotion or whatever. Hey, yeah, of course, go for the promotion, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna earn more, you're gonna do this, you're gonna have more leeway, you're gonna be like you're gonna be a boss or something, a manager, whatever it is. And what happens? Once you're in the trenches, once you're doing it, you're earning more, you're doing more. What do people say? Same thing like the fitness. They start guilt tripping you. Oh, you're doing too much. Oh, you're doing too little. Maybe you're not on the front lines anymore. So you're all you're in this little tower now, or you don't have enough time, or you don't have this, or you look so this, or you look, I don't know, whatever it is. Maybe you don't need all that, Justin. Right? So what I'm just trying to say is, when people start to say things to you when you're on your journey, that's a good thing, right? And from my experience, what it is they want help as well, right? When our best friends or close friends or family members start saying things like, hey, you're going too fast, you're doing this, or why are you getting in shape, or why are you losing so much weight, I liked you a little chubby, whatever it is, or I liked it when you didn't have this managerial role, or whatever or new job, whatever it is. If we can share with them that journey, typically people are super stoked, right? Or at the very least, understanding. Maybe not super stoked, but some people will be super stoked that you're sharing the realities of it, right? Like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize you have to deal with all these tough clients now and you have to deal with all the personalities on your team. Wow, I didn't realize that, you hit all these plateaus and you actually almost stopped your fitness journey because it's difficult. You had all these setbacks, and wow, I didn't realize it. So you lost about 0.75 pounds a week on average. In 6 months, that's 20 pounds, right? And when we can share, the more we can share, the more we can connect and communicate, I truly believe that, we can all help each other, because this is the main goal, right? Because too often we hear people saying, like, well, let's not care about what people think, or what else do people say? Something about, I don't even know what people say, because I don't even pay attention too much about all the negative stuff. But well, to me, it's negative, right? Because it's important to think about what other people are thinking, because it's not only about us, right? When we do our fitness journey, when we do a new career path, when we are working a lot, when we are doing anything in life, right? It's a sacrifice from the short-term pleasures. And there's that balance, right? Now, of course, we're not going to just say we're just completely never going to eat ice cream and pizza and all that good stuff again. We're not saying that. We're not saying to just fully just cut out that, or to fully just never work again and live a happy, I guess, I don't even know what that is, like without a purpose life. But some days it is difficult, to be completely honest. Some days it is very difficult, especially when you have setback after rejection, after being told no so many times, right? It's easy to think positive, of course, when things are going well, right? When things are going well, it's like, oh, how much more weight can I lose? How much more fit can I get? How much, can I get a better raise? Can I move up the ladder in my company that I work at? It's easy to think those things when morale is good and when it's positive. What's not as easy, and this is the key right here. One of the keys, I should say, is being able to see the end goal, that vision in your head or that picture in your mind, when things are not going so well. When things are not going so well, a health complication happens. You get into a big fight with a family member, a loved one. You get into a big fight with your boss, a coworker, whatever. You get rejected. You get told no. You get passed up on that promotion. I don't know, whatever that thing is. Because everybody's going through challenges. As cliche as it sounds, if we can see it in our head, we can make it happen in real life. And so, but it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. And I still get bouts of, if you guys don't know, from the previous podcast episodes, I've talked about my depression, my anxiety, and I was suicidal, and how all these things originated from when I was, I still have a difficult time. I went through therapy and all this stuff, but to share it with you and our audience is still difficult. At 12 years old, I was abused sexually, and that I am grateful for it now, hindsight looking back, right? Because without that, I probably wouldn't be who I am. I definitely would be a different person, for better or worse. So I'm grateful for all the things that happened in my life, but not to make the same story, because that story is on previous podcasts. There's still bouts of depression that happens. Now, obviously, if a level 1 is zero, minimal depression, and level 10 is being suicidal, at the very worst, it probably gets to like 7 or 8, where you start contemplating about like, man, is this even the right thing? What the heck am I doing? You start questioning yourself, like all of these different things. And I forget who told me this. I can't remember if it's a mentor, if I read this or something. It was about what depression is. It was a good way to think about it. Was depress is deep rest. Depression is deep rest. Depression, deep resting. And so when I thought about it that way, it really made sense, because the times that we feel a lot of anxiety, which is basically anticipation of future suffering, right? We're anticipating that something is going to go really bad, which is why our heart starts thumping, right? It's not even real, and our heart starts thumping. You watch a scary movie, oh my goodness, boom, heart starts thumping. Same with real life. Oh my goodness, I have to have that meeting tomorrow with the boss. I gotta meet with this client tomorrow, or and that's the anticipation of something going bad. That's anxiety. Versus the opposite, where we can see it going well because of our preparation and our planning and the work we put in. Then we can see it, as a positive, hopefully, outcome. And it's a practice too. It's a mental practice. We talked about it in the book, how people who we surveyed who are generally, not all the time, but generally optimistic and happy and grateful, the mindset shift of what things they decide to think about, what things they feed, not their body, but their mind, also their body too, but what they feed their mind. Because one of the things was, I think it was Walter Bond said, when's the last time you watched the news and you felt good about America? Or when's the last time we watched the news and you were like, yay, hooray, Hawaii is doing awesome? Not really all that often, right? If any, most of the time, because fear sells. Fear sells, and that's, it's a business. The news industry is a business. And so feeding the mind. And for every person who I am today, I genuinely want to just share with you on this episode all of who I am at this moment in June in the year 2021. We're getting towards the butt end and the tail end of the pandemic, the coronavirus, but this version of me, I want to give you everything I got, because you deserve it. You're tuning in, you're listening, and I know your time is really valuable. So, the whole thing about fitness, and because number one, there's another insecurity of mine too, is stuttering and speaking Japanese first, because my brain is bilingual. I start thinking in 2 languages. I'm like, So thank you for, bearing with me all of these episodes and the future episodes to come. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe and check us out on YouTube, where we have Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Please check us out, write a review. It really helps out to get this message out there. Anyway, with fitness, the main goal is not to be perfect, because there is no such thing as perfect, right? Just like with dental health, right? We're never gonna brush your teeth and floss perfectly 100% of the time. That's just impossible. That's not impossible, that's just unrealistic, I should say, right? Or that's just like this very same to say like, you're gonna brush your teeth twice a day, floss every day, do all these things, every single day, no exception. Is like the same as saying you're gonna exercise every day, you're gonna eat healthy every single day, avoid sugar, avoid all the stuff every single day for the rest of your life. That's not the whole point, because when we try to reach for a perfection level of state, it takes the joy out of it, right? It takes the joy out of the journey and the now. I forgot who said this as well too. I think it was Jim Rohn. Oh no, Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar had said, I believe, I'm paraphrasing, the past is full of lessons, the present is the gift, and the future is the inspiration, right? And so if we start only thinking perfection, right, it's so hard to keep going when those hard times happen. When we hit the plateau, right, let's just say, it becomes difficult to keep going when the times are difficult. That doesn't make sense. What I'm trying to say is, when you hit that roadblock, you hit that plateau, you get that hard phone call from somebody, right? A coworker says something to you. You know, you hit a plateau in weight loss. You're not losing weight anymore. You feel like you hit a plateau in your health and fitness journey. You feel like you're not getting any stronger. If the main goal is perfection, man, it's hard. This is why the average person, and we really got to get the mindset shift, is we typically start a fitness program, right? A gym, a nutrition, a diet program, a supplement thing, drink these 2 shakes a day program, like all of these things. The average person in America, I believe it was the average, I think guys and women were different statistics, but the average person was about 3 to 4 times a year that we try different diets and different programs and different gyms, right? So if you've been consistently exercising about 2 to 4 times a week and consistently eating healthy most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, you're in a great place, and you should give yourself more credit, right? Because if you think about it, every setback that you experience, it means you got through it. Every major roadblock you got at work, you got through it. Every major heartache you got in family, you guys got through it. Every major crisis you had in life, no matter how bad it was or how bad it is now, you're here. You're surviving. You're alive. You know, you're making it through. You made it through all of those difficult times. You know, whether it's something as, everybody has a story. You know, whether it's going to the food bank, picking up food, and you know what my mom had to do, and we made the walk down and picked up food, and would ask Sack and Save for whatever food that they had to get rid of back then, just so that we could eat. Expired bread, no problem. Pick off the mold, toast it. Rotten milk, good. We got yogurt. She made it into yogurt. It was incredible. The ability to be resourceful and to continually push forward is one of the greatest gifts we all have. And so, you know, I'm just really enjoying this moment with you, you know, listening, and I really hope that we can all pass it forward, right? If you're already, wherever you are in your journey, there is somebody that we can all help. There is that one coworker that looks stressed out, maybe we can listen to them, not say anything to, you know, just to listen, to understand. You know, maybe they're really stressed out, burned out, whatever it might be. Maybe somebody on their fitness journey is really struggling. And so if someone's acting uncharacteristically, sometimes the best thing is just to be there, right? And encourage them to be with us, do stuff with us, right? Put them in a positive environment. And I love this story, by the way, guys, about the mango. I'm definitely an amateur. You know, I don't claim to be a professional in in fruits or plants or farming or anything like that. But what I do love is mangoes, and a lot of you guys listening, I know you guys love mangoes too. And the mango tree, right? Imagine this. Imagine if I said I have this mango seed, which is your idea. The idea, I want to get fit. I'm going to be in the best shape of my life in my 40s and 50s and 60s. I'm going to be whatever your goal is. I'm going to move up the ranks. I'm going to be a manager or move up, whatever that goal is, okay? That's the seed, a physical seed, the mango tree seed. Now, if you just put it into the ground, right? I mean, first off, we got to put it into the ground. Let's just say that we just hold the seed in our hand. We don't do anything. We just keep it in our hand, in our pocket. That mango seed is never going to blossom into roots, let alone bear fruit ever, if we just hold it the whole time and not execute. Same with our goals, right? Let's just say if we have the goal of, lose 20 pounds, or I want to get off my medication. I just want to have more energy. I want to be able to keep up with my grandkids and be the best spontaneous grandpa I can be and have fun. I'm going to be that fun grandparent. Whatever that goal is, right? If we don't follow through and take that first step, and that first step is usually scary. It's just, okay, where do I put this seed? Where do I put this mango tree seed? Do I put it over here? Do I go over here? Do I put it in this ground? Do I go in this environment? Do I go in that environment? Same with fitness journey. Do I go in this strength and conditioning environment? Do I go into this environment? Do I go into this one? And there's a certain environment you're going to jive really well with, right? And so a lot of the times, if we go to a bad environment, well, bad environment means it could just be a different environment from what you need. That that seed isn't going to blossom. Your goals are going to have a very hard time to be accomplished. Right, so if I put the mango seed in an environment with, like, let's just put it at the beach. If I put it at the beach in that kind of sand, I mean, I'm an amateur, of course, but I don't believe it's going to grow at all if you just put it into the sand over there, right? Just like if you are working out, and let's just say my goal is to, and I've been into bodybuilding and powerlifting, so I remember on the flip side, when I was in powerlifting and bodybuilding, and I would see people that came in, I was at a Gold's Gym type of gym, and when I would see new people come in, and they see all of us young guys just smashing weights, and you hear all the metal slamming, and a bang, bang, pa-pa, just slamming weights and racking, all the metal clanging, that actually turned off a lot of new people. And it's very easy to be like, well, that's, they just gotta, no. It's our responsibility. And so the environment is super important, that you feel well connected, right? You feel like there's a tribe that will support you on your journey. No one's judging you, of course, right? And all these things that they can modify and make adjustments for you. They guide you, but also they challenge you a little bit. And so, a mango seed, now that's just the first step. In fitness, it's usually just going to that gym, right? Or even just making that phone call, or going for that free consultation goal, whatever it is to set your goals. That's literally the equivalent of putting a mango seed into the ground. Okay, what's next? Now, imagine, nobody says this, right? Nobody says, well, I put the mango seed. Nobody says that. I put the mango seed into the ground, and I want it to bear fruit next month, right? I don't think anybody really says that about a mango seed. If you just get a seed and put it into the ground, I want fruit next month. No. But with fitness, sometimes it's like, well, I got this idea. I want to lose 50 pounds next month. I want that outcome next month. And it might be easier to just verbally say that because it's something that's not as, well, I guess they are both physically and both tangible, but it's just really interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments. Please leave them below. What do you think? Because I'm an amateur at this and I'm learning every day. I'm a student. And I love this stuff and I love your feedback. And I'm curious, right? Because people will say that about the fitness. You're gonna plant the seed, you go to the consultation, I wanna get to my goal in 30 days, right? My major end goal. I wanna be able to do sprints, I wanna be able to do this, I wanna be able to do 100 sit-ups, whatever the goal is. The mango tree, actually, it takes 5 years on average, 3 to 5 years, I believe, from a seed to fruit. Here's why. All of the roots have to happen. The deep roots got to happen. And on top of that, it doesn't just root itself. You got to have the right soil, remember the right environment. You have to have the enough environment. So you need enough positive sunlight. Right? But then you also need a little bit of challenge. You need a little bit of rain. You need a little bit of water. And so there's that balance, right, of sun and water. If it was only sun all the time, the tree would die without the water. But if it only rained all the time, it would just kill the tree as well. And so just like in fitness, right? Just like in fitness, if it was just all sunshine and we didn't challenge people and we're like, yay, hooray, there would be no rain, right? Hey, I think you can go 2 more pounds. Hey, how about we challenge you? We go that a little bit heavier dumbbell. Not to drown, right? We don't want to drown or anything like that with a major storm, but we just want a little bit of showers, a little bit of water. Hey, I think you can do that harder variation of burpees now. What do you think? Okay, let's do this. I think you can do that little harder variation of the core exercise that you've been doing for the past 7 months. What do you say, Jimmy? And so there's that balance of encouragement, the sunshine, and the challenge. And then you have the environment and the soil, which is basically the culture of wherever you're working out at, right? This is why sometimes it's very difficult to work out at home by ourselves. Even for a guy like me and probably all of our coaches, if we were to tell us to just work out at home by ourselves, I don't think anybody would say, yeah, it's easy. Everybody would say, well, no, it's going to require some discipline, dedication to work out and do the burpees and push-ups a little bit more than if we're in a group setting and say, okay, let's do this, guys. Boom. And so I think the whole thing I'm trying to share is the power of our environment and the power of the people we decide, because we all have control over who we hang out with, who we surround ourselves with, who we want to be a part of, whose journey, all this stuff. We get to decide. We are so lucky, and it's just a incredible time just incredible time that we get to choose where we work out, who we decide to do things with. And so, with that being said, I'm just really thankful that you're here, you're with us, 50 episodes in. And so I want to ask you, and I want to challenge you, what are you going to do to challenge yourself a little bit? I'm not saying to go completely bananas and out of your comfort zone and go skydiving, anything like that. I'm just asking, what is that just a little bit we're going to do extra, or a little bit more, or a little bit different, or a little bit unique way to challenge ourselves? Because challenges are also really good for our mental health as well, right? Puzzles and crossword and all these different games and obstacle courses are fantastic to preventing and activating all the brain areas. I'm not sure 100% on the technical terms of the brain area. My friends and colleagues at the Alzheimer's Association can tell you that. And maybe we get them on next time for brain health. What do you think? But anyway, the whole thing about brain health, if there's not any challenges, if there's only routine and comfort, the brain starts to deteriorate because it doesn't have to think anymore. Think about it, logically too, without being all scientific, logically it makes sense. If we don't use a muscle for a long time, what happens to that muscle? Does it get bigger or smaller? It gets smaller, right? If we haven't used our car in a long time, Does the engine feel rusty? You know, if we go on a 2-week trip and you haven't used your car, the first time, same with our brains. If we just do the same thing over and over without challenging ourselves a little bit, just that we don't want too much now. We don't want to have so much cortisol and stress that it's just driving us nuts. Of course not. In balance and moderation. But there's something challenging, right? Maybe it's doing that extra weight. Maybe it's doing that extra class a week. Or maybe it's, deciding to hike twice a month. Or maybe it's I don't know what it is. Maybe it's to build a better relationship with the colleagues, or whatever that thing that is scary is usually what's going to best help us, in my experience, and just my opinion. That thing that we're scared of, man, whether we win or learn, it's an incredible feeling because it's like, oh, okay, well, that didn't go so well actually. What can I do next time? How can I learn from this experience and make sure that the next time we do it, it's a better outcome, rather than I'm just gonna avoid it because it's kind of scary. I don't think I should work out, or I don't think I should do that martial art, or whatever it is. And so, just keep doing. Just keep doing. And I already know that you are, because you're here today. Just the fact that you're listening is incredible. I am so grateful. I don't take it for granted. And so this is why I really put a lot of thought into what we want to share, and the messages, and the people that we have on the podcast. And we've actually had to cancel some guests because after talking to some guests, I realized they sometimes would front or flex, or whatever that word is, or prep their ego up and try to instead of being more authentic and just share some real stories about themselves, about the hard times, right? And so that's the main thing. I just want to share that I'm just a regular dude from Maui, and parents immigrated here, couldn't speak the language, English. I probably learned at 8-9 years old. Failed school throughout middle school and high school, barely graduated. College dropout, and used drugs and fell off the path and went to some downward places. And this is why I truly believe that life is not, and just from all my grandparents, the people that I've been fortunate to sit next to before they passed, right? The little wisdom and insights that people would pass on is incredible. One of my aunties in Japan, she said she took the wrong path, right? And basically just chose herself, and just chose not to do anything else for anyone else after she was maybe 35 or 40 years old, right? And so basically she took care of my mom when she was a kid, picked her up and walked with her from and to school when she was a kid. And this was in the 60s, I believe, so maybe a little bit after World War II. Japan was still devastated. And so my mom and I were one of the few people that showed up on her deathbed when she had cancer. And the one thing she told me was to not be selfish, right? She said, please don't be selfish, because, you might win short term. You might get your way today. You might get your way tomorrow. But when it really matters, and when you really need people, they're not going to be there because you burned them, right? You burned them because you wanted something today and tomorrow, and not thinking about long term. Another thing that someone had said was, always treat people kind. She told me that be happy, always balance your perspective. Even if you think times are hard, remember other people had it harder, especially back in the day. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine what people, generations ago, even just 2 generations ago, let alone 5 generations ago, 10 generations ago, and on and on. And so, it's just incredible because, oh, sorry guys, one of the things that she had really mentioned too was always do things to help and benefit others, because as a side effect, people are going to help you back. But that's not the goal, right? That's not the goal, is to be helped. The goal is to just help people, plant a lot of good seeds, right? Plant a lot of good seeds, and that's it. Just plant a lot of good seeds. My grandfather, he went to World War II in Japan, and he was luckily spared from jumping into the Navy ships because he was a good cook. When he came back, his whole neighborhood, all of his friends were gone. They died of the battle. And my grandfather, just like, anybody would, went through a really hard path, dark path, and made some crazy choices, and but got a lot of wisdom and lessons from that, and I'm really grateful. Sharing the things that he shared with me over the years, and particularly the last couple of years he was here, was to not take shortcuts, and then of course the usual stuff. Don't steal stuff, don't borrow things that you don't intend to return. I mean, real simple, timeless wisdom stuff that might seem common sense, but sometimes it's not, or it is, but it's a good reminder. Just like with fitness, right? I mean, all of us know what to eat and what to do, exercise, and eat healthy, drink the water, eat the veggies. And the other one was follow your, well, I guess it depends how you translate it in English, but follow your heart, or you could translate it to follow your dream, whichever translation, your gut, your dream, your heart. Follow that thing, right? If you really want this job, if you really want that promotion, if you really want to get healthy, if you really want to do that thing, then you got to make it happen. The regret I saw in a couple of loved ones in their eyes, because they had to sacrifice so much, especially back then, guys. Especially back then, because they had to sacrifice so much, and they compromised so much, and they were so selfless. That they were sharing that of course you got to balance that, right? You don't want to just be the complete opposite and be selfish, but make sure to take care of yourself as well. Make sure you're eating good foods, you're getting enough rest, sleeping early enough, or whatever it is. moving your body, and then really just following your passion or dream. If you want to go talk to that guy, go talk to that guy. If you really want to go talk to that woman, go talk to that woman. If you really want that, job, go for it. If you really want to get healthy, find a good environment, or check out yanagidafitness.com, of course. Fighting Sickness with Fitness is also on Amazon. Gotta put that out there. Get the book. Or just email us at yanagidafitness@gmail.com. We'll send you a free ebook. I didn't think I was gonna get this deep this last maybe like 15 minutes. I just kind of went off of my gut and my heart. And I really hope that if you find any value in this podcast, please share this with 2 people. Just share it with somebody, because at the end of the day, if they're alive, they've went through a bunch of storms, right? They've been to a bunch of disasters, a bunch of failures, a bunch of mistakes, a bunch of hard times, and they're here today. And so, let's have that compassion, let's have that empathy, and let's just be grateful that we get to be around awesome people, and we get to add value to people, and help other people. That's it. Anyway, gang, thank you guys so much for this episode. Please, if you guys enjoyed this, or maybe if you didn't enjoy it, whatever it is, please leave some comments, some feedback, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for joining us, whether it's been all of the episodes in the past, or this is your first episode you're tuning in. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys all so much. Keep on fighting sickness with fitness, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.